Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, I have another flashlight review for you today. Today we're talking about the Thrunite Ti5. Now, if you remember my last Thrunite video, I had mentioned that I just saw this light, I was very interested in it, and I knew I would get one, and now I have one here. And I have to say, ultimately, I'm a little disappointed. And I'll explain a little bit later as to why. But first, let's talk about this flashlight, show you what you get with it. It comes in a tin as opposed to the cardboard box. Has a little sleeve here as well. All right, so in the tin, we of course have our paperwork here. I'm just going to give you all your specs on here, all the details that you need to know about the flashlight. And we lift up our little foam, and you can see we get our spare O-rings. Alright, so taking a look at the flashlight here, fairly small. Essentially all this is half of the Ti4, right? The Ti4, it takes 2 AAA batteries. This is a smaller version that takes 1 AAA battery. Okay, what's awesome about this is you're going to find these batteries everywhere. They're very cheap and widely available. The only downside to lights like this is the limitation in the output, just because of the battery source. When you're not using lithiums and stuff, like a CR123 powered flashlight, it's going to be a little bit more limiting as far as your high output. So yeah, it's basically the mini Ti4 is what you can call it. Has a clicky switch on the back. Okay, basically it's a half press to cycle through the modes. So I'm pushing in halfway on that tail clicky. We have a firefly mode. Okay, this is going to give you 0.3 lumens for 120 hours. And then bump it up to our low mode, which is 10 lumens for 6.5 hours. I'm going to move my hand here because it's quite bright. But you get a full 100 lumens for 30 minutes. And if you cycle through again, you're going to get your strobe, which is 100 lumens, but twice that. High output runtime, which is going to be an hour instead of half an hour. All right, so I zoomed into the head so you can get a better look at that LED. This is a Cree XP-G2R5. I know it's a mouthful, but quite a common LED in some of the modern flashlights. Again, you could see the metal reflector in there is heavily stippled. Okay, so you don't have any kind of artifacts in your beam. Very nicely done. Now, I really like this flashlight. Overall, I think it's awesome. It's compact. It's got a cool little pocket clip on there. It's got the clicky switch, which is awesome, easy to use. I mean, the high mode is pretty damn bright. Simple battery source. What's not to like, right? These sell for 25 bucks on Amazon. I think it's a great deal. However, in the beginning of the video, I said I was disappointed. The reason I'm disappointed is because I don't feel like this is that much of an upgrade to the Ti3. Now, ironically, in my last video, I referred to this as the Ti3. I said I was excited to check out the Ti3. I meant to say Ti5. Maybe something subconsciously in my mind knew that I would still like the Ti3 more, because the Ti3 is 20 bucks. So for $5 cheaper, the Ti3 on high actually gets 120 lumens for 50 minutes runtime, as opposed to the Ti5, which gets 100 lumens for half an hour. So basically, for an extra 5 bucks, you get 20 lumens less and 20 minutes less runtime on high. Now, of course, the obvious advantage to the Ti5 over the Ti3 is this clicky switch. Okay, so what it really comes down to, I think, is preference. If you like your Ti3, but you always want a clicky switch for it, that's where the Ti5 comes in. You will get a very slight drop in output and runtime, but if it doesn't bother you, yeah, it's the obvious choice, you know what I mean? So how much is this clicky switch worth it to you? I think it's very cool. Basically, if you like the Ti4, but it's a little bit too long, maybe you want more pocket space. I do find that when I carry the pen lights, I try to carry to the inside of the seam, but sometimes I'll throw my knife in first, and then I put the flashlight next to it on its left. When I do that, the flashlight pokes down, and I do have a little bit hard time, rummaging around my pocket for other tools and stuff. So if you like the shorter form factor, yeah, I totally understand that. But if you're really just looking for the best bang for your buck, I still feel like the Ti3 is a better option. They both have the exact same LED, the exact same battery source, and almost the same size. It's just with the Ti3, if you guys remember, you have to basically turn that head on and off to change the modes and turn it on. So if that's inconvenient for you, yeah, for an extra 5 bucks, it's worth getting the clicky switch here on the Ti5. But, for me, I'll always go for the most output for the money. So yeah, that's where my disappointment comes in. It's not that big of a deal, but you guys do have to recognize that, you have a new model, and every time you come out with something new, you're trying to progress forward. What I would have liked to have seen is, at the very least, the Ti3 with a clicky switch. That would be a cool option. So yeah, the Ti5, it's very cool. It's an awesome flashlight, but do consider your other options out there. The Ti3 to me, is my personal preference over this one. If that clicky switch is that important to you, then yeah, the obvious choice is to get a Ti5. But anyway, that's my opinions and my review on the Thrunite Ti5. Awesome flashlight, but I was expecting, I think, a little bit more bang, more output, or at least better run times, you know, so I was slightly disappointed in that respect. But at the end of the day, it's still an awesome flashlight and still a great buy. I'm just considering the other options that are out there. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I'd love to hear your input down below in the comment section. And thanks for stopping by and watching the video. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.